Meeting called to order. Welcome to the special meeting of the Board of Commissioners, July 30th, 2024 at 5 p.m. For special meetings, the board must adhere to the published agenda and is not at liberty to discuss other topics. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Redwanski.
Here.
Commissioner Smith-Morrow.
Here.
Commissioner Recton.
Here.
Vice Mayor Fennell.
Here.
Mayor Kaduli.
Here. Personnel orders, Commissioners' Order number 52, 53, and 54.
An order of the Board of Commissioners, City of Newport, Kentucky, appointing Christopher Combs to the position of firefighter medic in the Newport Fire EMS Department effective August 12, 2024.
So moved. Second.
An order of the Board of Commissioners, City of Newport, Kentucky, appointing Eric Van Meter to the position of firefighter medic in the Newport Fire EMS Department effective August 12, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
An order of the Board of Commissioners, City of Newport, Kentucky, appointing Kyle Rule to the position of firefighter medic in the Newport Fire EMS Department effective August 12, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Chief Peluso.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mayor, Board of Commissioners, I appreciate your time tonight. Tonight, we have three gentlemen with us, one of whom was actually sent the application in when we were in the meeting that the new contract was ratified and signed. So we're very excited that we have three very knowledgeable, very experienced, and from what I understand, very good paramedics to bring on board tonight with the City of Newport. Mr. Combs has 10 years of experience, and both Mr. Rule and Mr. Van Meter have four years of experience in the fire service, and we are very happy to have them at Newport tonight.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Tiffany, if you can please read the order for vote for each of those in order. So please call the roll for 52.
Vice Mayor Fennell.
Yes.
Commissioner Redwanski.
Yes.
Commissioner Smith-Morrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Recton.
Yes.
Mayor Kaduli.
Yes. Commissioners' Order number 53, please call the roll.
Commissioner Redwanski.
Yes.
Commissioner Smith-Morrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Recton.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fennell.
Yes.
Mayor Kaduli.
Yes. Commissioners' Order 54, please call the roll.
Commissioner Smith-Morrow.
Yes.
Commissioner Recton.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fennell.
Yes.
Commissioner Redwanski.
Yes.
Mayor Kaduli.
Yes, and it's official, so congratulations and welcome.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Congratulations.
Welcome
So
aboard.
glad to have you.
Congratulations.
Welcome. Glad to have you.
Congratulations and welcome. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break so that there can be photos with family, and we'll reconvene at 5:10.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I'll let him go.
And then the room got very quiet.
I'll be your new cook for the nice new kitchen.
All right, welcome back. We're going to move into new business. Commissioners' Order number 55.
An order of the Board of Commissioners, City of Newport, Kentucky, authorizing the city manager to expend up to $62,500 for necessary repairs to the Purple People Bridge.
Moved.
Second.
Well, that was enthusiastic.
Are we
Tom
here?
Fromey, please color this up a little bit.
Nice. So, this has been a very long and complex and difficult path. So I'm going to give you this, I could talk about this for, and I got Will Weber here tonight, we could talk about this for hours and hours.
Let's not do that.
Exactly. So I'm going to give you the Fromey Cliff Note version as normal. So in 2001, the state of Kentucky declared the Purple Bridge, now known as Purple Bridge, formerly the L&N Bridge, as surplus. It was unnecessary. So the original intent that the state had was to demo the bridge. And they had allotted $4 million for demolition. By the way, that number would probably be $8 million today for the same job for that. So there was a vision from the city and South Bank partners that this could be a pedestrian bridge. They had seen such a bridge in operation in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And so they visited Chattanooga, and they thought that this would fit the bill for northern Kentucky with connecting Cincinnati with the South Bank region, of which Newport was part of South Bank Partners. So they convinced the state to give the bridge to the city. They couldn't give it to South Bank because that's a violation, so they had to give it to a public entity, hence it went to the city of Newport instead of South Bank. That's why it was routed that way. The $4 million was used for restoration of the bridge. The bridge had not been maintained appropriately for many, many years. As a matter of fact, it still had the old silver lead oxide kind of paint on top, which was typical back in those days for the paint colors of the bridges. It was peeling off, so it was a hazardous situation. There was also a problem with the barrel vaults on our side in particular. They were crumbling, they were leaking, so there was structural issues that had to be corrected. There was also a renowned bridge engineer that was hired to look at the bridge and to see what the expected life was for that and what kind of repairs had to be done. So all the $4 million were spent in a relatively quick period of time. One of the problems that we had, though, with that was there was no long-term thoughts. And if they were never articulated to me as to the continued operations for the bridge as we moved into the future. So in 2005, I went onto the board when I became city manager. So I was the ex officio onto the South Bank Bridge Company. So when I got on the board in 2005, we had $250,000. That's all we had. So we've been limping along for years with that initial $250,000, and we have an average cost that we do every year of about $40 or $50 or $60,000 a year. Now that is not going to give you appropriate maintenance of the bridge, proactive maintenance of the bridge. I would estimate that to be would need about $250,000 a year for that kind of moving forward for the bridge. Now the bridge company, the Newport South Bank Bridge Company, was formed in 2003. There's 9 members. There's myself and Will Weber, our ex officio members. We both have 3.5 picks on the board. So you have a 9-member board that operates the bridge. It's all part-time. Of course, I'm city manager. So this is a part-time thing. It's just an extra duty that we have. We don't have full-time staff that work on the bridge or anything else. We don't have the finances for that. So if the bridge company disbanded through South Bank saying closes up, Due to the initial bridge being given to the city of Newport, it reverts 100% back to us. So that's why I've always been an advocate that we have to step up and support the bridge as much as we can for that. Now, there's other issues that come up that we've been talking about for a while, and I'm going to introduce you to someone here in a few minutes to discuss that issue. But the bridge is definitely a regional attraction. So when I came on the bridge company in '05, it had about 200,000 users a year, pedestrians that crossed the bridge a year in 2005. We're approximately 1 million a year at this point. So it has exponentially grown over that 16 or 20-year period, and it's going to be 2 million in 10 years. So the longer it's there and it's more used, you have more people living in downtown. In Newport, we've had all these apartment buildings built up in the vicinity of the bridge, as you all know. Aqua, View 180, Academy on 4th, so Monmouth Row, all those have been built up in the last 7, 8 years. So we've had a lot of population. And I think the more that Cincinnati grows their population base downtown, you're going to see more and more use of the bridge as we go into the future. So the bridge marks a span that is dedicated exclusively to pedestrian traffic, as everyone probably knows here on the board. It brings two of the Tri-State's most important geographic areas, downtown Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky river cities, even closer together. The bridge has definitely become a tourism attraction that is part of a marketing campaign used by our regional tourism entities, Meet NKY and Visit Cincy. So the bridge helps connect people who live in Ohio and Kentucky and makes it easy for walkers, runners, and bikers to visit attractions, restaurants, and friends on both sides of the river. The reason I bring that part up, that is a major component that's going to be on our next regular meeting on the bicycle plan that had been presented a few months ago at a meeting to us. So the bridge plays a focal point for the transportation plan, bicycle transportation plan for Northern Kentucky, Newport and Covington, without a doubt. So it is well used by bikers and runners and everybody else. And I'm not even counting the special events that we have on the river every year. Whether it be weddings, or whether it be runs, or whether it be walks, we have a large number of special events that we have that we host on there. So the repair, to get down to the nitty-gritty, the repairs, Will Weber, as a member of the board and also as president of South Bank, got the engineer estimates for the bridge. Now, you know, there was, the bridge had deterioration, so we had falling portions sloughing off of the rocks from the piers. So the cost on this, the initial cost for stabilization, so this will get the bridge reopened, is roughly $125,000. Luckily, we have a group step forward, and there again, they're going to be up here in a few minutes, step forward to help us share this cost. Now, this cost could go down, what I'm asking for, $62.5. If we get another partner, that number is going to go down. But this is as it currently stands with the partnership that we have for that. That's for stabilization. Now, that'll last for a while until we have permanent repairs. So the permanent repair then would be an additional $125,000 or more. We're estimated about $125,000. So the total cost from start to finish on this repair is about $250,000. It could be somewhat higher. I doubt if it's going to be any much lower, but it could be a little higher than that. But the last time we did a repair on the bridge, we were pretty accurate on our estimates on the cost. So I have faith that these numbers are good, that what we're laying tonight for that. So this is what I'm asking the board to do, to support this, and I think that we need to take a leadership role on this for that. We do have concerns. What's the viability moving forward? I'm not sure. I think we have some good ideas, and now I'd like to introduce Christine Russell from the Northern Kentucky Port Authority, and also part of BNKY, formerly Triad.
Welcome, Christy.
Bring this down to my level.
There you go.
I feel your pain.
Thank you, Tom. It's really an honor to be here tonight with you all. As Tom said, I'm Christine Russell. I'm the Executive Director of the Northern Kentucky Port Authority. Also, wear the hat of Vice President of Strategy for BNKY Growth Partnership. I really want to echo Tom's comments that this bridge is really important, and we can't lose sight of that. We can't lose sight of that in Northern Kentucky, and we can't lose sight of that in our region. It's important that that it gets reopened in the short term so that it can be activated for events like Oktoberfest and Blink. We want those to be huge successes for Newport and for our region. But it's also important as the potential in the future to bring our region together and really to become something that we can all be proud of. I'm an incredible optimist, to a fault sometimes, but even I know that the long-term solution for this bridge, it's going to take a lot of creativity, it's going to take a lot of support, and quite frankly, it's going to take a lot of work, and I think you all probably know that more than anybody. But as we do this and as we think of this, I really want to encourage our region to think big, to dream big, and to be bold as we think about what this bridge can really be in the future. Let's not think about the money we have in the bank today. Let's think about what we want to do, and then let's figure out how to find the funding to do what we want to do, not just what we can do. The Northern Kentucky Port Authority and BNKY Growth Partnership, we're committed to join you in a leadership role as we all figure this out together. And Tom alluded to, we will have meetings later this week that hopefully we will be able to announce some funding for this. I really want to say thank you for your leadership on this. Tom said that, I echo that. I'm really proud to be your partner in getting this bridge reopened, and also envisioning what this bridge can become for our entire region in the future. So I'm here to answer any questions, but just really want to say thank you.
Thank you, Christine. On the board.
So long-term, does that include a repaint? All looks,
I would say that is the minimum. That's like table stakes at this point, I think. There are examples across the country. Tom mentioned one in Chattanooga. There's a bridge that's going to be opening later this summer in Kansas City that is interestingly a bi-state bridge like ours, that has a restaurant on it and space for farmers markets, and just an amazing vision that is in partnership with private developers. Maybe that's something we look at. We really are. We don't have any guardrails, I guess, in terms of what this could be. I think the one thing that we are absolutely convinced of, though, is that the status quo is not what we all want this to be. We want this to be vibrant, we want there to be a long-term future, and we want there to be sustainability. And I can't tell you today that I know exactly what the path is to that, but we are willing to roll up our sleeves and work together to try to figure that out.
The interesting thing about the Walnut Street Bridge, the one in Chattanooga, is it was essentially just like the L&N, except there was only one span. But there was nothing at that time. There was nothing. You want to cross it to nothing. So it just, I'm not trying to take credit for this, but I did personally drag Jim Parsons over to this bridge when we were in Chattanooga and said, hey, this could work. But I also wanted to mention, I talked to Bob Kaler at OKI this week, and there's not money this year, but there may be money next year, either in sync, and you may know that, in sync funds or in the bipartisan infrastructure act, I guess it's called. Yes.
Yeah, I think looking at the federal level, looking at the state level, let's get Frankfurt excited about this too. Turning over every stone possible to bring the funds that are needed to make this what everybody wants it to be.
Get the bread spends redone. I think we can do this.
So I don't know who this question should go to, but I'm interested in knowing about a really comprehensive evaluation of the condition of the bridge and what it is really going to take realistically. I mean, honestly, 250,000 sounds like chump change. I'm skeptical that that is going to go really very far. I mean, maybe it's enough to get us stabilized, but I'm really going to want to understand about that. I think we all are.
And we do have a recent evaluation of the bridge. So we had received state funding to employ, I can't recall, do you recall who the engineering company was? Stantec. They did a evaluation of the bridge about 5-6 years ago.
And that was related to actually putting a hotel on the bridge.
that-
So, I mean, it was a substantial investigation of the structure, and it came back that it was able to be achieved.
Yeah, that seems to me should probably be updated. That seems a little bit old for
Could
a
be.
structural evaluation, given the condition we have now. But that's good. I'm glad that we've at least, done that, so.
Ken, do you have any comments?
Yes, sure. Christine, I'll be honest, I hear a lot of pleasantries. We're going to partner, we're going to do this, and Port Authority and one NKY, and, we'll sing around the campfire, kumbaya. Am I hearing $62,000 on the table right now?
On Friday, I will be able to tell you that. The Port Authority Board and the BNKY Executive Committee are holding a special meeting on Friday morning with that request in front of them. Obviously, I can't speak for them, but we do have support from both organizations. So yes, it is our intent to match the investment that Newport is making.
Second follow-up question, what does it look like? I'm speaking to governance. This is not treated as a regional asset in the current situation. Truly, Tom has 3.5, and Will has 3.5 appointments. Mayor Purval has 0. Hamilton County Commission has 0. If this is truly, we're going to treat this as a regional asset, shouldn't we be creating a vehicle that governs it as a regional asset?
Yeah, and like I said, today we don't have the answers to all those questions, but I could not agree with you more. And in fact, in terms of raising money to complete the 250, as we are looking on the northern Kentucky side of the river, I am also making the calls to the counterparts on the Cincinnati side. I believe strongly that this needs to be both sides of the river that participate and contribute to this because it benefits both sides of the river. And we are just starting to learn more about the governance structure that exists now, but that is something that is very much top of mind to look at, is what is the right structure so that Newport isn't left holding the bag someday, or it runs out of money or whatever that is. But I don't have the answer today, but Ken, I absolutely agree. It needs to be both sides of the river, and we need to take a really hard look at what is the best structure and how can we put that into place.
And then a little bit of a follow-up. Tom, how do you, and Will, this is directed towards, how do you envision this money going through the process? Who does the contract? Who cuts the check?
Well, typically, I can just give you the most recent one, last repairs. So that was all channeled through South Bank Partners, the bridge company. So it was channeled through the bridge company because it's got its own books and everything else. So that's how we did it. It was all bid out through the bridge company and things. So that's the way it is. So South Bank nor Newport really had a direct involvement with that.
And Will, cash on hand, how much do you have
Cash on hand.
in the bridge company?
All assets were anywhere between 40 to 50,000.
The last comment is one that, we're having this conversation and there's nobody here. There's no press here. This conversation needs to be had in the general public, and maybe that happens after your board meeting, but the general public's not aware that you got 40K, and we're looking at 250,000, and the final thing is an expression of my frustration. Why, since 2003, have we not raised some money to make this sustainable. We know that it takes $1 million to paint the thing. 20 years, we're sitting around twiddling our thumbs.
Not exactly. I wish it was that simple, but it's not exactly.
Well, I just want to say, we saved the bridge. Let's start at the good points and focus on the good. We can all go back and unwind what happened in the past. Some of you were here when it happened and didn't build the framework of that. I'm here now, we're here now as a team to approach this and deal with it at this point in time. From 2001 to 2024, we've been solid stewards. The bridge has remained open with few exceptions. This is one of the exceptions. We had an issue that happened a couple years ago. We had some champions step up, write big checks, get the thing open faster than normal. There's always been active, ongoing campaign for fundraising. Many approaches, many ways. It has proven unsuccessful. So to get off of this process of not being able to raise the money, we have to create a vision of an unleashed potential. The Kansas City Bridge has a restaurant, but the restaurant isn't at the pedestrian level. It's suspended and cantilevered out over the river. We have to make people think different than what it is now to be able to get to the fundraising, to get to a new vision of the bridge. It's a great connector, part of the bike plan. The bike plan, not fully executed yet, but it is the central part of the bike plan. It's the central part of connection of walking and bikers in our community, without a doubt. So now we have work to do. We have to build the idea of that big, bold concept that will make this an icon for the region. And we're going to do it together. It's not going to happen in the structure that exists now. It's not going to be able to happen. It's going to take a new set of eyes, a new set of structure, because no one is going to commit to the existing structure. We've seen that. So creating a new structure. I thank BNKY, Lee, and yourself. Serving on your board for a year gave me a firsthand view of how your approach at BNKY has changed and moved into the urban core. And I thanked all of you when I left and serving that I've seen a transformation. It wasn't your mission, and it wasn't what you did for a very long time. You continue to demonstrate that, and I thank you for this almost commitment. I know you got the votes because you got to have this meeting to get the votes on the other side.
Yep.
And the work continues. We're just starting, and I think that this is something that's going to require the Chamber in Cincinnati, Meet NKY, all agencies to figure out something that we're all in the region going to be incredibly proud of beyond what exists now. That is functional and it works, except for at this particular moment, has worked for many years, and we're going to do better. And I thank you for your efforts and your part in making this happen.
Well, thank you.
Cincinnati buy-in is so important. I mean, they're benefiting from this, and I'm sure they don't mind benefiting from it, yet not paying for any of this.
We've, like the mayor said, it's been a difficult path, but we've met with Cincinnati twice, 2 different mayors. But going back to what Ken's bringing up and what the mayor's touching on too, and we've talked to Christine and talked to Mr. Weber as well. We are going to change the governance. What it looks like today, we can't answer that, and who's going to be partners in it, but that is the fact. It's not working correct today. It hasn't worked, not for a lack of trying. I mean, we've tried. We really did. We had all this stuff, and we had a deal with Kroger's that fell through, an $8 million, after we spent 2 years on it. They pulled the plug, and no reason was given to us. So we've had deals with St. E's. We had a deal with a hotel developer and a restaurant developer on there. We spent years on that, and they just all fell through for whatever the reason was, whether it be economic reasons, and sometimes you don't know what the reasons are. But you can, sitting where I'm at, I mean, we blew through a lot of years where we wasted a lot of time with some of these things. But we are going to change that. They're willing, they're stepping forward, the regional groups, and this is a big step forward for us, to get the regional entities more involved with us rather than a local. We're 2 parochials per se. We have the Newport South Bank Bridge Company. I'm ready to move on. I don't need to be part of the bridge company. If they want me to be, that's fine, but whatever it looks like, I think Will's ready to move on. And we appreciate it. I don't want that lost. We appreciate you guys stepping forward with this. We really do, because I really do feel better as we look down the road for this.
Mayor, just a quick question. Of course, I don't have a problem to support this. People love the fact that they can live in the East Row or live in the Basin and be able to walk to work in Cincinnati. That's huge. As we go through this process over this repair and going on, would it be possible for us to get status reports so we can see the work that's being done and just kind of get an update on what's going on with it? Great, thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's nodding his head, yes. Thank you.
And it's not just people in Newport that use the bridge. I mean, I've friends in other Campbell County cities that's their walk, and they want to know when it's going to be open, when is it going to be open again?
For sure.
One final comment, Tom, and I appreciate your enthusiasm and your optimism on this, and I'm enthusiastic as well, but we forget about the mistakes of the past. We're doomed to repeat them, and
Well, we've shared those, right? We spent a lot of time on the mistakes of the past. Go ahead.
yeah, so I appreciate it. I really do. Just a cautionary tale that we need to fix this governance situation. Because that is something that I've heard from folks that say, look, why should I contribute? We don't even participate. So anyway, thank you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate your comments on that.
Well, and I think it's important to be said that it's a whole new port as well, right? I mean, the Port Authority and the city of Newport entered into an agreement in what year? 70s?
1980.
80, okay. I thought it was 70s or 80. And it didn't result in a very good situation for us. And we shared our concerns from that. And whatever this framework looks like, we're on board to figure it out. And that's the part that I just want you to know, that we'll put in the time and the effort to ensure that we achieve something special. And
Likewise.
your partnership is appreciated, and thank you for coming in today.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on the board? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Recton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fennell,
Yes.
Commissioner Radwanski,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith Morrow,
Yes.
Mayor Kaduli.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, at this time, I'd like the board to entertain a motion to leave executive session, 61A10 subsection F, to discuss personnel matters. No action will be taken on it, so we do not enter executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Fennell,
Yes.
Commissioner Radwanski,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith Morrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Recton,
Yes.
Mayor Kaduli.
Yes. Thank you all, and again, we will not be coming back into session. Have a good night.